Welcome to Sacred Cow Shipyards, where no ship is safe from being taken down to its nuts and bolts. So last week I mentioned that I am still very new at this whole audio recording thing, and I am always open to constructive feedback as to what I'm doing right or what I'm doing wrong. And that is very much still the case. However, also last week I am very sad to say that unfortunately appears to be that someone got terribly upset about what I had to say about last week's ship. And I would just like to say, for the record, in front of all the gods in the human pantheon and the universe and whatever else came before all that, that I don't give a fuck. Seriously, this channel exists to talk shit about actual honest-to-God ships in actual honest-to-God ways, not hiding them behind their plot armor or behind their comedic value or whatever other story artifacts or writers are trying to hide them behind. But no, take a look at the ship as it sits and try to determine if that might actually work or might not actually work without magic. Expressly without magic. And yeah, sometimes ships fail. Oh no. I mean, for fuck's sake, I literally started this channel talking shit about the Venator-class Star Destroyer from Clone Wars or whatever the heck it was from. Are you really gonna start bitching about me talking shit about other things now? And if you really are gonna be that kind of butthurt, the airlock is that-a-way. Please do not allow the positive pressure side hatch to hit you in the ass on the way out. And speaking of ass, this week's starship is going to be the X-Wing, because, oh yeah, we're going there. And no, we're not just going to talk about its ass. I mean, I have no idea what's going on back there. Is that the escape hatch? Is that a garbage chute? Is that, like, something I shouldn't say in this channel, although at least there's a handle on it, so it'll be easy to pull out? Who knows? No, what we're actually going to say here is that the X-Wing is ass. But why? All the fanboys are undoubtedly screaming right now. Well, the answer is very simple. In fact, we've talked about it before on this very channel. And it boils down to two words: parallax error. The refresher, for those of you who don't want to have to go back and watch the episode again, is basically the farther away your aiming system is from your weapon system, the harder it is to actually get the weapon on target. And when you have 4 weapon systems that are literally spread out as far as they possibly can be, you literally failed at starfighter design. Okay, let me dumb this down for you humies and make it pretty pictures so you can understand. Well, maybe pretty pictures. Functional pictures. They pay me to break ships apart, not draw you idiots pictures. Anyways, take a look at this. Understand that the blue oval thing symbolizes your squishy pilot at the middle of the X-Wing. The orange rectangle things are the laser cannons out on the tips of the wings. And that gray hexagon doohickey is the target that the X-Wing is trying to shoot. Notice how the pilot's sightline doesn't match either of the laser lines. And notice how all 3 lines converge at a single point, preferably at the target. Okay, what happens if the target, say, gets closer? Oh no. The convergence point is beyond the target. You will miss. The same thing happens if the target is farther away. Okay, great. You f***ing morons have created a starfighter that can hit a target at a specific distance. At worst. Well, actually no, at best. Because the worst is the other option. The worst case is all 4 of these laser cannons have independent little servos or motivators or adjustment motors or whatever they use in the Star Wars universe that continually adjust the laser cannon's point of aim based on how far away the target is. And understand that my cute little drawings are 2-dimensional. In fact, the X-Wing is idiotically designed that it makes this problem harder by spreading out the laser cannons on 2 axes, making this a 3-dimensional problem when it goes into combat. Because, you know, you wouldn't want to make the combat problem easier on your computer. So here we are, constantly trying to make micro adjustments in the angle of the laser cannons, while you're constantly shifting targets in an ongoing furball in the sky, and you tell me one of those servos, motivators, whatever the hell, isn't going to just randomly snap off and go flying into space, especially since this is supposed to be an exo-atmospheric fighter, and it does atmospheric reentries and hyperspace jumps, and oh my god, the fiddly bits are just going to break. And then you'll have one laser cannon pointed over here, one laser cannon pointed over there, and one laser cannon doing knows what. I mean, if you treated X-Wings as kind of like a fire suppression vehicle where all its entire purpose was to get out there and just lay down continuous laser blasts saturating a certain volume of space, it actually starts to make a little sense. But as an actual dedicated starfighter, why do the wings extend? Seriously. Wings do you nothing in space, not even Star Wars. I'm not even convinced there are thrusters at the end of the wings. There's barely any space out there. So why are you extending them? Why are you complicating the problem? Why, instead of just having the laser cannon just point inwards or outwards, depending on how far away the target is, they've got to point inwards and downwards? Makes absolutely no sense at all. And seriously, why do the wings move? I mean, if there were thrusters out there, if there were any other ship in the Star Wars universe that actually used maneuvering thrusters, then it would make sense. It'd be kind of like the Star Fury from Babylon 5. But no, there don't appear to be thrusters. And the X-Wing doesn't generate some sort of, inertial dampening bubble. The inertial dampeners are contained within the skin of the ship. There's no purpose in expanding the target area of a starfighter. You're just making it a bigger target, and you're adding more moving parts to an already complicated nightmare. And speaking of nightmares, apparently the X-Wing requires a human squishy pilot, or not necessarily human, a vaguely bipedal pilot to actually fly the ship, and then an R2 astromech droid in the back to do the calculations for hyperspace jumps and all the good fun stuff that actually comes from flying a starship. Fine. Except the only way, apparently, to load and unload the astromech is either by a crane inserting him through the top of the starfighter, or through this weird little collapsible lift system that drops and raises him out of the bottom of the starfighter. So basically, if another moving part on this death trap contraption dies, your droid is stuck in his f***ing starship. Also, why the f*** is the computer that does your hyperspace jump calculations removable? When did that even make sense? I mean, I guess it can go update itself and then pop back in the starfighter, but seriously, why? Alright, sorry, enough about the astromech situation. That's actually kind of consistent across the entire Rebel Alliance starfighter fleet, except the B-Wing, amusingly enough. Its hyperspace computer was actually built into the ship, which makes sense. It's the only good thing about the ship. Anyways, back to the X-Wing. Because, speaking of massive target areas, look at the fucking schnoz in this thing. I mean, I guess the schnoz is necessary because the targeting sensor at the front of this thing has to be huge so we can figure out how to get all 4 of those laser cannons on their intended target. Because, oh my god, parallax error once again. It strikes again. Oh my god, what the fuck? And that's without even mentioning the whole proton torpedo assembly, where the proton torpedo launchers launch said torpedoes along the axis of the schnoz that we're just now talking about, and the magazine for said proton torpedoes is directly beneath the pilot. Because, I don't know, the pilot never gets shot at in starfighter combat, so the proton torpedoes are perfectly safe right there beneath the pilot's ass. Have y'all ever actually been in combat? Holy f***. And oh wait, it gets better. The original trilogy X-Wing starfighters had turbines on each of their 4 wings, and that's fine. They had circular entrances into their engine system. I'm not sure what those intakes were meant to be for, since we're in space. Maybe they were part of the in-atmosphere functionality of the X-Wing fighter, because as I said, the X-Wing fighter is an exo-atmospheric fighter, so maybe there's some sort of turbine supplemental engine propulsion system. I don't know, dude. But in the following sequel trilogy thing, they decided to take that circular turbine thing and split it in half. Because, good things happen when you take a turbine and you split it in half. Oh no. Bad things happen when you do that. And why? What? Why did they do that? I mean, seriously, the X-wing fighter is a starfighter. It's supposed to be out there in space. Why do the intakes matter? Why did they make them split like that with the wings? Why does it have wings? What I am so very confused right now. And that makes me angry. And that's all from Sacred Cow Shipyards. Please be advised that any ship left on the dock for more than 24 hours will be compressed to a cube. Have a good day.